Friends, in this series we are delving into hope, giving us inspiration and motivation. But the subject that we're discussing is that I believe you have what it takes to make it in this life, especially if you're listening to me and you've suffered a loss, a setback, a crisis. You've been told that you don't have what it takes. You've been told that you don't have this, you don't have that, you don't know people, you don't have favor, you don't have papers, you don't have this and you don't have that. I'm here to change the narrative and tell you that you do have what it takes. In the episodes, we've been discussing the reasons as to why I believe that is so, and today I'm going to add you one more reason, and I want you to stay tuned. It's going to be interesting.
Welcome to the Life Signatures podcast with Lawrence Namale. Lawrence is a life coach, author, and keynote speaker who loves to tackle different topics on purpose, productivity, and resilience. His mission in life is to awaken all your boundless possibilities available in you. Life Signatures podcast is dedicated to bring to reality every single person who knows that deep down in their gut, there's got to be more to life than this. And now, here is your host, Lawrence Namale.
Life Signatures episodes are brought to you by AfricanBooks.com, which is an online ebook platform that seeks to broadcast the African Christian voice to the world. As such, they have become a hub for African content, connecting African writers and publishers with a global reading audience. Publishing your books on their site is free and easy, with authors having full control over their content and the price they choose to sell at it. I was personally blown away by the concept that AfricanBooks.com is coming up with. Things like no content from their site or their app is going to be run on laptops so that people can easily copy. In other words, your content as a writer is restricted from digital multiplication or digital copying. So you remain intact with your information. And the other concept that I got so blown away with was the fact that in some time to come, in due course, AfricanBooks.com will be starting to announce African Writer of the Year. In other words, there will be competitions in all African countries to figure out who is the best published author. And I also fell in love with the fact that countries can actually compete against each other. We can have African authors going at it after each other, and your book as an author will be reviewed and have some stars and recommended upon that particular platform. The thing is that it's an answer to Amazon.com. You know, with Amazon, what happens? You've got to have an account in the Americas or whatever, or in Europe before you can get paid as an author. But here, the local currency is in play and the local means of getting paid are in play. So to get started, go to AfricanBooks.com as an author or as a publisher, and even as a reader if you wanted to read your African favorite authors. Enjoy. If I'm to do a recap for you, I will let you know that there are very many things that we can have going on in our lives, and then they're taken away from us just like that. And we find ourselves in a dilemma. In fact, we find ourselves starting to believe that we really do not have what it takes to make it in this life. And whatever it is that making us believe that is real, it is happening. It is factual. It is not some imaginary thing. It's a hurdle. It's a wall that is some kind of odds that you're facing right now. So we're saying that even though the odds do exist, even though the hurdles are there. Even though it looks like it's an impossibility, it's highly improbable that you're going to make it. We are saying that on a closer look, there is a chance that you have what it takes to make it in this life. And we just went rudimentary when we started saying that the first reason we believe that you have what it takes in this life is because you are breathing. You've not been buried. You're not dead. Whoever it is that put you here still believes that you are needed here. That's why you're still believing. You're still breathing. That's why you're still alive. You might have lost some things. Might have lost a breadwinner. Might have lost your papers. Might have lost your job. Might have lost your position. Might have been fired and retrenched and all these things. Might have been left by your spouse, either through death or whatever it is. And it's factual. It's a fact that those things have happened. But the truth is, you are still breathing. And as long as you're still breathing, there is hope that you can be able to mount a comeback. A comeback is not a go back. You're not going to go back to how things used to be. No. A comeback is a comeback. Going to do things differently and even better than what they used to be. And I've written about this in my book, first book, Turn Your Setbacks into Major Comebacks. Now, the second reason as to why I believe that you have what it takes is that I do believe you are predestined. There is an intention over your life for your existence, and therefore you've been predestinated. When I talk about being predestinated, you know what I mean? I mean that whoever it is that put you here for a reason and for a purpose. You're not existing like a zombie as if you're not needed. In fact, you are needed so much so that you are created the way you are created, filled with the capacity that you are filled with, the dispositions, the gifts and the talents, the things that you like, the passion, and the things that you hate, so that you can be able to serve the reason as to why you are predestinated in the first place. You are here as a problem solver. You are here to make an impact. You are here on earth to make a contribution, a telling contribution. Now, telling is not what is on TV being touted. Telling is just doing what you're supposed to do in the first place. It might be the most obscure thing ever, but you will know in your heart. I've shared extensively in these episodes that you will know when you're doing the things that you're called to do. You will know, and nobody on the face of the earth will pay you enough. The psychic income you receive from doing those things, nobody will pay you. So you are predestinated. That is number 2. The third reason as to why I believe that you have what it takes. Guess what? You have desires. Number 3, you have what it takes to make it in this life because you have desires. I know that sounds so cheap, so rudimentary, but let me tell you something. There is nothing that has ever been done, made, created, revolutionized this world, anywhere, anytime, that did not emanate from a desire. Now, let me say something critical here. If you wanted to see someone who has given up on life and there is basically nothing you can do for them, the lowest moment for a human being is when they have no desire whatsoever. No desire to be alive to begin with. No desire to do anything, become anything. No desire for any change in their lives. That is the lowest moment. Sometimes we hit that moment. Sometimes we come to this bout of discouragement and despondency and desperation, so much so that we question the very existence of life, the very meaning of our existence. We wonder, does it really make sense for us to be alive, to be where we are in the first place? It doesn't sometimes make sense. That's just a flashing point, a moment in life. It's one of the lowest. But as long as you have desire, because we've seen even at that particular moment when people have gone to the lowest of the low, sometimes basically it's because they might not be seeing the world or their existence in full spectrum. They are seeing it in the angles of what they are going through at the moment. You've been thrown out of your house, you've not paid rent, and you are embarrassed and you are ashamed. You've been rejected and you're embarrassed and you're ashamed and you're heartbroken. It doesn't make sense to be alive at that moment in time. But you see, to you, that's how it feels. To someone else who loves you, who cares about you, there could be hope. There could be some life. There could be an opportunity. There could be an option. But at the moment, you don't see that option. That's why your desire is gone. Let me tell you this. If your desire is gone, you are the only one at that moment who is feeling that way. That's the point that you need to rise up and talk to somebody and be vulnerable and tell them. They might not be able to help you, but you need to have your thoughts listened to, your disposition listened to, and you need to have your desires restored. And some people can help you to do that, either professional people or loving people. Talk to people when you've lost desire in your life. Now, don't tell me that you've totally given up on your life completely. Even then, it reminds me of when a well-beaten path that has all the grass dead with use, like a running track around the field in Africa, around a pitch. It's brown, no grass in there. All it takes for the grass to germinate and to sprout out is rain. All it takes for the grass to germinate on that path is a sniff, a whiff of humidity and time, and people to give that path a break. Before you know it, grass starts sprouting, life starts coming, and a break is all you need. You just need a break. You have what it takes. You just need a break. Stop all the traffic for a minute and go away somewhere. Take a break. However, for as long as your desires are still alive and well, you have all that it takes to make it in this life, because these desires will push you to do something towards it. You're listening to this podcast because there was a desire. You've read some of my episodes, some of my articles, because there was a desire. You are alive today because there is a desire. You went to school because there is a desire. There are very many things. The totality of our lives is centered around our desires. If we do not desire to live, we will not be alive at the moment. So you have what it takes, because at the moment as I speak to you, you have a desire. You have a desire to make money. You have a desire to get married. You have a desire to have that house, to build that house. You have a desire to build that career. You have a desire to help the poor. You have a desire to build hospitals. You have a desire to build things. You are human, and humans are always going to build things through desires. And as long as there is desire in you, you have what it takes, at least to begin to make it in this life. Tomorrow we will share another reason as to why I believe you have what it takes to make it in this life. And you can see, I'll tell you about this more tomorrow. You can see the direction that we are taking already, as far as these things that you have that make you get what it takes to make it in this life. You know. So anyway, we're going to talk about more about that in the episode tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Life Signatures Radio. If you enjoyed today's show, subscribe to Life Signatures Radio on iTunes, Stitcher, or visit our website at lifesignatures.libsyn.com. Life Signatures Radio, fresh, clean, and inspiring.